Hey gang, we're here to do a install of the Scala Freecom 4. I got the Duo pack so I can share with whoever else in my family happens to be with me on a trip, either my wife or my daughter. And this is my Arai Defiant Pro-Cruise that we're going to be putting it in. So, according to what I've heard, this is a no-tool installation. So you can see I don't have any tools. The only thing I have here is my helmet halo, because I'm going to flip my helmet over. And this is actually a really cool product that I got last year at the AIM Expo for I think $15. So I usually keep my helmet on this when I'm not using it in the first place. But it's also good when you're working on your helmet and you want to keep it from rolling all over the place. Now, to make this as easy as possible, we're going to take the face shield off. I hate taking face shields off of Arai helmets because it always feels like you're damaging them. But, you know, in reality, you're not. So that's how the helmet halo works. Keeps your helmet upside down and secure so it's not rolling all over the place. And let's take a look at the packaging here. This is really slick packaging. It's got a little flip up that lets you see all the features, 4-way intercom, blah, blah, blah. It's in English and Spanish and French. So I'm going to assume that all the other documentation is in at least that many languages. You got your serial numbers here. Oh, hey, look, assembled in Ukraine by Cardo Systems, Inc. So there you go. And there's a little information on the Cardo app for Android and Apple's iOS. So let's take a look at what else is in the package. I like the minimal aspect of the packaging. There's not a blister pack or anything, all that plastic. There we go. So we've got the 2 units and some side packages. This looks like a pair of wall chargers with USB ports on one end and the requisite USB cables. That's USB-B on that end, I think. And then that is a mini USB or a micro USB. I always forget which is which, but that's the smaller one. That's the same plug, same cable that you need for Garmin, the newer Garmin Zumos use that same plug. And that's the same plug that a lot of Android phones use. So you may not need to actually carry an extra cable around with you. Let's see what else is in here. We've got some, these look like microphone covers. That's a boom mic wind cover. Hopefully I won't need that. Usually you only use that if you have an open face helmet. It cuts the wind a lot better. I don't think you'd normally use one that large if you have a flip front helmet. So we'll see what else is all in the box here. There's 2 of those, right? Because there ought to be 2 of everything, right? And then we've got some alcohol prep pads. Oh, for professional and hospital use. We got 4 of those. Let's see what we got here. A piece of paper that says optional speaker booster pads for helmets with deep ear cavity. Oh, so if one Velcro pad doesn't do it, then you get a little booster to get the speakers closer to your ears for better sound transmission. So now here we got all the languages: English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Russian, and Swedish, I'm going to guess. Extra booster kudar. So that's probably Swedish there. And that's everything from, oh no it's not, hold on. We got some, these look like adhesive. Oh, I bet you these are to hook the unit to the outside of your helmet with adhesive. That looks like a nice strong adhesive. So we're going to set those aside. I don't know if we're going to use those or not, but I guess we'll find out. And then let's see what's here on the other side of the package. We've got, that's a microphone. So on a couple of different, there's a lot of Velcro going on there. So I'm guessing that little modular thing plugs in. So that's what you're going to use for a full face helmet, right? And then this will plug in somewhere along the line to the rest of the unit. So that'll go, the Velcro will go in the chin bar somewhere, and then the microphone will go on top of that. And there should be, yeah, there's 2 sets of those. I'm only going to pull 1 set out because I'm only installing 1 set. So these look like the speaker booster pads, and they're hook and loop. So they're hook on one side and loop on the other. So whatever you put against the back of your speaker cavity, then those will give you the boost. So I don't know that we're going to need those. I'm going to actually just leave those right here in the box so I don't lose them, because I lose stuff. And then these are the regular Velcro pads that we'll be using hopefully to get everything installed. We'll just set those aside. So this set I'm going to leave in here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull one of these little, now these are the booms. I don't anticipate needing a boom, so I'm not even going to pull them out of the case. My whole family is full face helmet users, but we got to pull out the speakers, 1 set of speakers. So we'll do that here and put the booms back in. And then I'm just going to leave that in until I can either put it in my wife's helmet or my daughter's helmet. The speakers look good. They got a little tacky, it's not quite Velcro, but it's the hook side, not the loop side. And then there's they got some good weight to them. I'd say they probably weigh 2 or 3 ounces a piece, maybe. So probably some good magnets in there for good sound. Usually the thing that helmet speakers lack the most is bass. So the bigger the magnet, the bigger the driver, the better bass you get. And then there's a little cable here that ends with a right angle 1/8-inch stereo plug. So that'll be that. Let's see then now. One of these, we'll just pick one at random. So this is the actual unit itself. Very small, very compact, light. I would say that it's only a little bit heavier than the pair of speakers. So it's not going to be a big heavy weight hanging off the side of your helmet. It's got 4 raised up knobs on it, little elongated knobs that'll probably be pretty easy to feel with normal gloves. I don't know about winter gloves, but regular gloves for the rest of the year. And then I'm going to bet this little icon in the middle lights up when it's powered up. There's the charge port underneath right there, right, with a little rubber thing. It's on the bottom. I'm going to say that that's probably water resistant and not waterproof, but we'll see. Another note here that for sale only in North America. So if you're not in North America, you're out of luck on that. And then this must be this is the mount then. So we're going to pull one of these out. So that's a little clip style mount that I'm betting is going to go on the edge of the helmet there. We'll find a spot for it. Good tension. This is thick plastic. I'm betting that's going to hold up pretty tight, pretty well. And then there's 2 cables coming out. One that ends in a female 1/8-inch stereo plug, and one that ends in just a jack. So that's where the microphone plugs in. That's where the speakers plug in. So it looks like a good length of wire. So we'll be able to tuck that up underneath inside the helmet, I'm hoping. So let's get this back in here. Now, I wonder where the instructions are. I didn't see any other papers. Let's see if this thing comes all the way out. Ah, there's another thing underneath there. I'm betting that's the instructions. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Nice packaging. They put a lot of thought into the packaging here. Okay, so let's see what we got. We've got important safety product information, warranty service, blah, blah, blah. We've got online software updates, so I'm guessing you can jack this into your computer, cardoupgrades.com, and update your firmware and all that kind of stuff, so that'll be handy. We'll hope that that is Mac compatible, since I don't have a PC. This is a not in English pocket guide, so we'll set the not in English one aside and let's see what this is. This is like a quick start, so it tells you how to turn it on, tells you what the LED indicators are, how to plug everything in, USB charging, etc., etc. So that's a nice brochure, full color, tells you how to look at it. It's kind of plasticized, so you could probably get away with sticking that in your jacket pocket and not worrying too much about it getting wet. Important safety instructions. This is the more, this is legalese. This is because America. And then, here we go. These are the installation guide instrucciones. Let's see what we got here. Very, very small print, so break out your bifocals or reading glasses. English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Russian, and Svenska, so that is definitely Swedish. You got a parts breakdown, cradle, they call this thing, they call that the cradle, so there we go. Looks like you got two options. Option A, put it on with the clip. It says position on the left side of the helmet. Option B, using the adhesive plate. When the clamp cannot be used, attach the cradle. Note, this option can only be performed once. So, if you're gonna, looks like if you're gonna use the adhesive instead of the clamp, instead of the clip, then you better be sure you got it where you want it, so that you don't have to mess around with trying to do it twice. I'm betting the adhesive on this puppy is really sturdy. But I'm also betting that Cardo is smart enough to have these available aftermarket so that you can buy an extra one or two. Maybe you have more than one helmet that you want to use this with. So we'll see. And then let's see what's on the back. How to install the speakers and the boom mic, installing the microphone, corded. So yeah, I got that right. The boom mic for open face or flip front helmets, and the cord for full face. Now, because I'm a man, now that we've seen the instructions, we're gonna cast them aside and we're just gonna go for it. So, left side of the helmet is here. This is the Arai Defiant Pro-Cruise. It's a really good helmet. It's a couple years old, but it still works really well. And I'm going to be doing a lot of highway riding this summer as I head for the rally in Salt Lake City. I'm going to make some stops along the way in Texas and whatnot. So having a comm system so I can listen to music is going to be really awesome. Now I'm going to hook this up to my my GPS because I only want to be able to listen to music. I don't want to take calls, but anything with Bluetooth, you should be able to hook this up to. So your modern smartphones that have Bluetooth on them, you should have no trouble. So this is the right side, this is the left side. Let's grab a clip and see if we can find a place in the lining where it will slide in. This seems like a good spot right there. See if it'll fit. that is snug. And then it clicks in. So I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that coming off, to tell you the truth. There's a little bit of movement, but that is really snug. So there we go. Now I'm going to check and see if this liner, if this neck roll will come out. And then we'll be able to figure that out. So let's see if we can get the speakers in. Now, one of the cool things about the Defiant Pro-Cruise is that it has, or the difference between the Pro-Cruise and the regular Defiant is that they take in-ear or in-helmet speakers into account. So they're supposed to be, oh, that came out really easy. In the actual cheek pad, there's supposed to be a cutout for the speakers. So let's see if that's actually true. And this is part of the safety for first responders. If you're down in a collision or a crash or something, they can pull these cheek pads out while the helmet's still on your head. So these just tuck right up in your chin pad, or in the helmet cavity, and then there's a little note right here, emergency tab inside. So let's see how this is supposed to be in here somewhere. Yep, there it is. So there you can see the little cutout, little foam cutout right there. We'll just tear that out gently. All right. So if you had to put the speaker on top of that, it'd be pretty firm against your ear. So they leave you a little bit of space. Now we're gonna put a piece of Velcro right there. Let's see, do we need hook or loop? Okay, so we want hook and hook. All right, so we need those two. And then if you're going to use the expanders, which we're not going to use because I have a big head, then you'd put those on there. So we got two of those. Are those gonna, you know what, there's rectangular ones and there's square ones, so let's see what's gonna fit better. I think that rectangular one is gonna fit better, so we're gonna use that one. Oh, and look at that, there's even a little space in the EPS to run your cables through. Oh, that is slick. That's cool. All right, so we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna pull both cheek pads out at the same time. That one's on the long side of the strap. And they're conveniently marked left and right so that we don't have to wonder about which one goes where. Pull that. That came out even easier. It's just not much holding it in. It's just a couple of little tabs holding it in. All right, so then we're gonna crack one of these alcohol prep pads and do both ear pockets and the inside of the chin bar to prep it for. Is you want to use this because it gets all the oils and stuff like that off of the material to make the adhesive on the Velcro stick better. You really want to do it on the chin bar because, damn, I mean, think about how sweaty you get. And since I'm not sure where we're going to put this inside the chin bar, I'm just going to do the entire inside of the chin bar. And that should let that dry a little bit. Oh, and that's disgusting. Look at how gross that is. Wow, that's nasty. I'm sorry you had to see that. Okay, so these should be dry by now. Let me double check that I got the right. Yep. Does that stick better than the other one? Nah, they stick about the same. All right, so we're going to use the rectangular ones. Get those in there. Rectangle. Looks like I picked the wrong day to cut my fingernails, that's for sure. Okay, those went in nice and easy. So now, left and right. That goes in that side. So it is easy to tell because they have a rounded tab and a kind of 3D triangular tab. And the rounded tab goes into the back of the EPS, and then the front, this goes into the chin bar setup. So let's see, left. If this is on the left, then we want to put the short cable on the left, the short speaker cable on the left chin bar, or the left earpiece. So that says left. So we're going to put this on the left. We're going to run that right through there. And that is almost a perfect fit. That fits right into that pocket like it's supposed to be there. So that's pretty slick. And it sticks out a good bit more than the foam did. You can see that the foam is about half the height of the speaker. So that should remain relatively comfortable once everything is in place. And then this is going to go right back over, little cover thingy. Make sure I'm not jamming up the cable too much. So we want all that to stick out. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back in before I put in the right speaker into the thing. Earpiece, cheek pad. So left is this side. This is what makes these get a little fiddly when you got a bunch of cables flopping around and everything. So here's the back. That's going to go into the EPS. So we got to fish the chin strap through. Keep the other speaker and the cables out of the way. And tuck that orange thing back up in there. The trigger bar, the pull for first responders there, emergency situations. We're gonna get that under there, pull that through. You gotta make sure that you don't leave the piece of the chin strap behind that covers the strap, because that'll bunch up and it'll prevent you from, there we go. Plus it helps cover if you have sensitive skin on your neck or something, I'm guessing. And then okay, that's in. Is that in? It's almost in. Feels like it's in. All right. Now we're going to put the right one in the right side. And what are we going to do with the cables? Is there enough? Run it around there. I don't know if there's enough distance to tuck that up. Because the one thing you don't want is a bunch of cables hanging down every time you go to put your helmet on, because then it's just irritating. I don't know that there's enough to run it underneath or that I would even want to do that. So, well, let's get it in the ear pad, cheek pad. Again, it goes right in, fits in, no problem. Got a little gap there for the wire to come through. Thread the cover back over. Now let's see. Okay, so if we just stick this back in, oh, that was much easier to get in, but now we've got cable. So let's see what we can do. There's a little bit of, you can pull this a little bit so that the jack has a little give, but it's not going to, all right, so let's see how long, where does this need to be? So that will fit up under there. So we still got this cable running across to the other speaker. Now, one end you definitely don't want to pull out. I don't know if there's enough cable length. Let me pull this cheek pad back out. I'm just going to tuck this mic cable up under something so that it's out of my way, because that's irritating already. And let's see what we can do. Getting a little bit of extra length on that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm tucking the other speaker cable in here into the lining. And that's the front. So let's spin that around. And you also get the chin strap is always in your way. So it looks like part of the trick here is to get the speaker cable kind of tucked back in where the cheek pad goes before you get it all the way installed. And then you can snap that in. So there, now there's plenty of room. And I can just reach in here and tuck it under the liner and get it out of the way. And then this cable, we can tuck up as well. There we go. Now let's grab the microphone. There's the microphone. Let's grab the tucked back microphone cable. So here's your two pieces. They go together. You can't mess that up. There's not only is there an arrow on each piece that you match up, but it's a fitted connector. It's wider on one side than it is on the other, so you really can't mess that up. And it goes together pretty firmly. That's not going to pull apart very easily. So let's see. Now let's think about this. Before I put it on, I'm going to put the helmet on and see, where do I want that thing. This will also give me a chance to check the routing of the cables and see if they interfere with my head at all, or if my head interferes with them. Okay, so I can't feel any cables on my skin, which is good. And there's a little cable back here. I can kind of move it a little bit. So I don't necessarily want the microphone directly in front of my mouth, because that's where my vents are. So there's a space here just below the little chin dam, or the mouth dam, that I think is wide enough for the Velcro and won't interfere. And that doesn't pull the cables out, so let's grab this Velcro. I take that back, that's not big enough. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, even that's too big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut a smaller piece of this. Let me grab a pair of scissors real quick. And then we're just going to trim this roughly to the size of the microphone, being very careful not to cut the microphone cable. That would be an awkward call to Scala. Hey, I don't know if this is covered by the warranty or not, but I cut the stinking microphone cable off with a pair of scissors. Could y'all send me a new one? Yeah, hopefully they'd laugh at that. That's user error. So I cut off probably half of the Velcro. And now there's enough room. I'm going to put this right up here above the vents, right there, so it'll be easy to talk into. That's not quite dried out. Let me just wipe that part off just a little bit more with our handy, gross little alcohol pad. And then so hopefully that'll keep it out of the airflow as well. And then we're going to run the cable. See if I can run that under the cheek pad to make sure that it doesn't get into my mouth or even my beard. I imagine that would feel weird if that got kind of tangled up in my beard hair or something, mustache hair. That might feel funky. Okay, so getting this part in there. Getting the microphone in there's no trouble. Really the only hitch is hiding the cable. So we can run it down. Let's pull the front of this mount out. Tuck it behind that. And anytime you're doing cabling like that, you just want to make sure that nothing is too taut or too sharp an angle. That's a pretty sharp angle, but I don't really plan on using the microphone, so it may not be even a big deal. And if I end up not needing it very much, I can always just take it out, because since I don't plan on using this to talk on the phone, it shouldn't really be an issue. Now, let's see how this will work. And those are not too tight. I can even tuck that up a little bit more under there. Now, this should clip right in. Now it's got a little clip on it that you use to secure it, and then it pops right out. Makes it easier to charge. There we go. Now, how do we turn it on? Oh, I'll tell you how we turn it on. We grab the pocket guide. Okay, to turn it on or off, you hold the push to talk button and the volume down button together. I don't know if you heard that, but it said, "Hello, Freecom 4." So here you've got the volume down, and it beeps. So it's got two different beeps. It's got like a boop and a beep. The boop tells you you're changing the volume, and the beep tells you you've reached max volume. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is stop the video, because the video is being on my phone, and so I can't pair it to my phone, and I don't want to pair it to my phone anyways, but I can pair it to my GPS. So let me run out and grab my, oh, I don't have to run out, I brought it in. Hold on. In a rare display of foresight and good thinking, I brought my GPS in. So this is a Garmin Zumo 590. It's probably 2 or 3 years old, I think. So, and here's you can see that the jack is the same micro USB as the Cardo unit. Okay, so it's telling me that using a GPS while I'm driving can kill me. So let's see, how do we pair? Pairing GPS or mobile phone on channel 2. So we're going to listen for hold for 5 seconds. Okay. Now I have to go in here, Bluetooth, search for devices. Okay. There's the Freecom. We'll tell it okay. Connecting. Okay, the nice Freecom lady said GPS connected. So we've got headset and music. Let's see if we can play some music, because that's really the whole reason. Media player. We'll hit Okay, I don't hear any music. So let's turn it off. Turn it off. Freecom disconnected. We'll turn it back on.
Hello, Freecom 4.
Okay. Let's see if it shows up in the Bluetooth settings. Freecom reconnect pending. There, GPS connected. And shows connected, shows the music icon.
GPS connected.
Okay. I can hear it clicking. So it's connected. Let's see if we can get the media player going. So there you go. Now I can hear the music. See what those speakers sound like. Yeah, it's pretty loud. The bass isn't bad. I mean, they're small speakers, so they're going to be a little trebly. That's just the way it goes. The smaller the speaker, the harder it is to get good bass response. So that's just the way those things work. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to shut this off.
Goodbye.
And she says goodbye. I'm going to put my face shield back on. And there, we're done. So that's the Freecom 4 installation. Pretty straightforward, I think. That didn't seem too difficult. I forgot to look at the clock, so I don't know how long it took me, but as soon as I get up to turn the video off, then that'll do. So I'll post a review either on my blog on the MOA website, or it might show up in the magazine. It all depends on what we have space for and when I write it. And I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you watched this long, anyways. This was the Cardo Scala Rider Freecom 4 installation. I only installed one of the pair, the two, into my Arai Defiant Pro-Cruise helmet. And I will see you around, and certainly at the rally. So you guys take it easy.